Put a finger down if every single day you can't go a single day without mentioning an ex.
Not me, I don't know what you're talking about. When I came out, he told me I ruined lesbians for him.
I guess that's a red flag.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag.
Whenever you tell me stories about her, I think, how the did you date? You've never told me about a bleach bath, Stevie. No, I kind of love talking. The internet would have loved it if you ended up with Lady Gaga. I was so scared to meet Sally.
Okay, so towards the kind of beginning of our relationship, I guess, like during lockdown, one day Josie told me, do you know that you talk about your exes every single day? I was like, I don't believe you. You're gonna need to prove it. So every time I do it, just make a noise or something. Tell me that I do it. Every single day from then on, she would say, check.
Once you acknowledged it, you were like, it's now my mission to stop.
So then I didn't talk about any exes for a period of time, and then Josie started missing it. So she started like asking me questions. I was like,
about this so with this person, you know?
So I thought I would make Josie rank my exes on this beautiful scale. I want you to rank them based on how much you want me to talk about them. We've got 4 tiers, right? The bottom tier is something that Josie wants to hear about the least. Sports. Athletics.
Yeah, I really don't want to hear about that.
Josie's biggest fear is someone telling her about how they've just joined a charity marathon, so.
Or if they're just like taking up running in general, like I don't know what to say. Good for you, I guess.
So the next is dogs. You don't hate dogs, you just like don't want to hear people talk about them.
I definitely don't hate dogs. Dogs are fine. When you have a cat and you like cats, it becomes so apparent how much dogs just aren't as good as cats.
Red flag. Can't trust Josie.
But do you think that's so interesting though, that people are like either cat or dog? Like you rarely get someone who equally loves both.
I prefer having a cat. I don't prefer cats over dogs. Tier 2 is carrots. I made them so much for you that you started to like not like them.
Carrots makes me feel like a little bit nauseous, but not because I don't like them. I'm fine to hear you talk about carrots, and I'm fine if you make me carrots. It's just like
you heard about it too much. I'm sick of hearing about carrots.
I'm sick of it, but like if someone was to tell me they like carrots, I would be open to it.
So then tier number 1 is Renee Rapp.
If I could, I would talk about her 24 hours of the day.
Let's get into it.
I know what I'm concerned about.
What?
I feel like no one's going to be in the Renee Rapp tier. Because let's think about it.
They don't need to be equal to Renee Rapp.
It doesn't mean I want to talk about them as much as I want to talk about Renee Rapp.
You could talk about them longer without me being bored by the topic.
Yeah, okay, got it. So I'm not comparing them to Renee Rapp.
No. Okay, let's get them out of the way first. Should I pull up pictures of them for you?
No. Let's start with the first one and let's call him Pee-wee.
Do you know any of the stories?
I know all about Pee-wee.
Right.
Wasn't he your first ever boyfriend?
No, but
this isn't who you meant.
Yes, it is.
Right. That's the first boyfriend, let's be real. Okay, so I do know about him.
When I came out, he told me I ruined lesbians for him.
Why did he say that?
Because men love to get off on lesbians.
But surely you'd be like, oh, my girlfriend is so hot and she's a lesbian. Now lesbians are even better to me.
I was his ex.
Okay.
So we can't enjoy lesbian porn.
I guess that's a red flag.
I'm happy that lesbians are ruined for you. They were never for you. He caught me doing something that I was forbidden from doing in our relationship.
By who? By him.
And he made me call all of our friends and confess what I did and apologize to them.
What was it?
Something that you should not have been able to forbid me from doing.
And when you called your friends to confess, did they just like laugh?
One of them was like, this is really weird. I don't want to be a part of this conversation. The other one's just like, okay. He looked like Schmidt from New Girl.
I have a crush on Schmidt. But do I have a crush on him because of his personality? That makes him a lot hotter. So I can't say the same for Pee-wee.
Would you be more likely to hear stories about someone because they're hot?
Yeah.
Tune in for the next video where Josie ranks the hotness of my exes.
See, that's what people would actually want to see.
Right, let's do it again then.
I don't know what half of them look like. All the men go into sports. No, I can't do this. It's actually quite mean.
See? Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I get why you
learned your lesson. How much do you want me to talk about this ex? Because you didn't even know them until this conversation. You've never asked me a question about them.
You'd think it would go into bottom tier, but because I don't know much about this guy, now I kind of want to hear more about him. He's teetering between carrot and dog. Can I just put him right in the middle of carrot and dog?
No, you have to put him on a tier.
Okay, well, he's a man, so let's put him in dog. Next, okay, so the next one, let's call him John. I'd say out of all of your exes, not just men, all of your exes, John is one that you talk about very often, and I know a lot about.
Well, it's just really funny because you said that all 4 of them merged together for you, so you could have been thinking I was talking about John when I wasn't.
I definitely get those last 2 mixed up a lot.
I think this one I might talk about a lot because of polyamory. That was like probably my first polyamory. My breakout into polyamory.
He holds a special place in your heart because he let you explore your true self.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
In my life, this ex started a lot of my polyamory journey because of one thing or the other that happened. Every time people got me alone, they would say, why are you dating him? You're a lesbian. And he would also tell everyone I was a lesbian.
I feel like this is like one of the exes that has like followed you into like adulthood. Like you still feels like he's around.
There's a special place in my heart for all of my exes.
Oh, of course you'd say that. I feel like you have two main exes that have followed you through into this part of your life, not in the way of like you're still in contact with them, but just in like how culturally important they are to you.
You know what a lesbian really wants to hear? The most significant ex is a man. I obviously tell a lot of stories that involve this ex, so yes. How much are you sick of it?
I think I'm gonna probably put John into sports. I feel like I've heard enough.
Chad.
You've never told me about Chad.
Probably because every time I talk about Chad, you think I'm talking about John. I've never told you about the war. He my best friend. So then I the one that he cheated on me with. And then his dad told me I can eat your better. He sabotaged our relationship. And so then I his new girlfriend. We had a threesome. Right. She poured a bleach bath.
You've never told me about a bleach bath, Stevie. Now I'm torn because everything you just said, I'm like, that guy. But also, I need to know about this because I don't know this law.
Apparently, I don't talk about my exes enough.
I'm putting Chad in carrots.
Chad is in carrots, not Renee Rapp.
No, I don't want to hear about him that much. Doesn't sound like a nice guy.
Well, I mean, I was obviously also to blame.
Well,
we had a war.
I didn't say anything about that.
Okay, next. Kayla.
Kayla. I would rather you never were to speak about Kayla ever again.
Okay, cool. Moving on. What tier is it?
Sports. Big time sports. So moving on.
Okay, next. Lady Gaga. Where are you going to put her?
Lady Gaga, obviously, we're both friends with. So I would talk about her all day, every day.
Oh, that's so cute.
So let's put Lady Gaga and Renee Rapp for sure.
Oh my god, Lady Gaga and Renee Rapp chilling together. That's cute.
The internet would have loved it if you ended up with Lady Gaga.
Molly is next. You did tell me something really funny.
Well, Molly is just my doppelganger, basically. And is also British.
I have too many British exes.
Yeah.
You feel like you look identical.
We do. Molly is an ex that I feel like I know a lot about.
Really?
And I feel like I know them personally.
I didn't know
Sorry,
that.
no, I literally just burped. Yeah, I feel like I know Molly personally.
Even though you've never met.
We've never met. Any ex that makes you like Blackpool, I'm a fan.
She didn't convince me to like Blackpool.
No.
Blackpool speaks for itself. It's my hometown.
There she goes.
How dare you? I feel like you ask questions about her.
Yes, and maybe that's a little bit of something because I feel like because we're doppelgangers and I'm like trying to figure out, you know, should you have stayed with her instead of me?
Oh my god.
You know, maybe there's a little bit of that in there. Like, well, if we're basically the same to look at, then
that's the only thing a relationship is about.
I've got to like ask questions about personality-wise because I'm like, what differentiates us? So I think that maybe that's part of it. I think I'm gonna put Molly in carrots, yeah.
Okay.
But I honestly feel like it's more likely that I'm asking you about Molly than you talking about Molly.
I mean, I just can't wait to do the reverse version of this video where I rank all your exes.
That'll be a pretty short video, one person.
Next one, Alex. The silence is so loud. You're gonna be honest.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I don't like it when you talk about this ex.
You don't like it because you don't like the content of the story, or you just don't like hearing
the stories are either depressing, sad, make me angry, and so it's
one time she told me that the only reason people watch my videos is because of my tits.
And that's true.
And I got up and left her on the date.
Didn't she also not let you have any
butch
mask friends?
Yeah, no mask or butch friends, yeah.
Weird. Yeah, I don't feel entertained. I don't feel, ooh, this is a good conversation. I just find myself being like,
It's probably like my most jealous ex.
Oh yeah, and I can't stand
the jealousy
it. I can't.
thing.
Yeah, jealousy really pisses me off.
Yeah, like why are you talking to my brother for so long? Do you want to fuck him? Like what
It's
the?
weird,
It's so
isn't
weird.
it? Sports.
Alex is in sports. Okay.
Big time sports.
Okay.
Gotta have a bit of my fruit shoot. I hate the new lids of these. So uncomfortable. I liked the old sucky part, but.
Right, Cameron.
This is a hard one because I feel like the Cameron you dated and Cameron now are very different people.
Interesting.
And so, in one way, it's kind of irrelevant when you talk about Cameron now because it's like, well, that's not true anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is a very vague way of saying this.
Me and Cameron were friends for so long, and then we just happened to date for a short period, and we're still friends now. You know what I mean? So like, I am a lesbian stereotype that I still talk to almost all of my exes, and you're the opposite of a lesbian stereotype because you have one ex and you don't talk to her. It's so funny.
Yeah, but I do see her everywhere, so that's a lesbian stereotype.
Yeah, so you're saying that it's different people. So
yeah, like, I feel like there isn't just like one Cameron to talk about it. It's like we're either talking about old Cameron or new Cameron. Whenever you tell me stories about her, I think, how the did you date?
Yeah.
Like, I literally, there's like no world in which you're compatible.
The most incompatible situation in the world.
So I guess I kind of like talking about her because I find it so intriguing that you could possibly have dated her.
Yeah.
Not because she's a bad person, just you literally don't.
On paper, it's like the most incompatible thing in the world.
Right.
I think we started couples counseling. It's like 6 weeks into our relationship.
Right.
I was in normal therapy and couples therapy. That's how incompatible we were.
But I do feel like we talk about her a lot.
Yeah. So are you sick of it?
No, I kind of love talking.
This
is where it gets hard. This is where it gets hard. I'm putting them in Renee Rapp.
All right.
Go Cameron. Can we call her Tara? I think this is an ex that you're very fond of and fond of talking about. And I don't feel the same way.
Yeah.
I personally can't really listen to like the positives of this ex because all I do is think about the negatives.
Huh. And there's very few negatives. That's what's crazy. To you, ethically, they're so an affront to your like principles.
Yes.
That it just overshadows anything else. Oh, because when I tell stories, it's positive, and then all you can think about is the negative.
Yeah, literally, I'm like, I don't care.
What tier is Tera gonna be on?
Dogs.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't mind it, but like, I don't feel there's really much more you can tell me. But you did talk about her a lot before I started pointing out that you talk about exes almost every day. George, yes. I like him, I think. Like, we don't talk about him very much. You spoke to him when we were going through adoption.
Yeah.
And he was being really sweet. Yeah, he's very interesting to me.
So when we were dating, his job was, I forget what it's called. Before you could like Google things on your phone, they had this service where you could text your questions. So you text like, how big is an alligator?
They should ask me that because I know the answer to that.
So then you get a text back, but now we have Google and smartphones, so.
I want to know more about your relationship though. Any special memories together?
He was sober. You like hearing stories about him, or do you just like him as a person?
I think I like him as a person, but I'd probably put him in dogs.
Okay, this is Stevie from the future, and I cannot believe Josie put George in dogs. Before you find out where everyone else ranked, like Sally, do y'all want to know something that proves George deserves the Renee Rapp tier? He became a patron on the Marry Me tier. And Josie even said this.
All of your Patreons are in the Renee Rapp tier.
Yes.
Big time.
I can't believe my wife made me pause the video to defend a man. Anyway, if you want to be as iconic as George, join my Patreon fam. There are 4 different tiers with different perks. There's even a free option. Patrons in the Renee Rapp
But
tier.
the free ones are in carrots.
Oh no, I love my carrots. There's more carrots than Renee Rapp.
I know you fucking love carrots. Jesus Christ, you make them
No,
enough.
my carrots is in my free Patreon.
I knew I was making a joke.
Okay, I know. Everyone wants to know what Josie thinks about Sally, but just for the record, she used to be a patron and canceled. Just saying.
Next, let's do Sally. Love Sally.
Okay, you love Sally.
Love
Why?
Sally. Well, I've met Sally. I was
like
so scared to meet Sally.
Were you?
Oh my God. Meeting Sally was like a judgment day for me. I was like, if Sally doesn't like me, it's gonna be bad. I thought that your fans and the internet was gonna make me and Sally ops, which they did, to be fair. Yeah, and we went and got beers together from, do you call it a petrol station? A gas station. I don't really need to talk about her much because like, I feel like I know so much because like, I don't know, it's so online. Yeah, she's one of the exes where like, I'll never feel like any anger or anything when you talk about her because it's just like, feels like a nice part of your life. Again, I think a very core person in your life, a very core ex.
We've all talked about getting matching tattoos as well.
That would be hilarious.
So what tier is Sally going in?
Sally goes with Renee Rapp.
Okay, Sally's in Renee Rapp.
Mm-hmm. Sally. Nothing coming around.
Now, what are the tiers? Let's reveal. In the top tier, we got Lady Gaga, we got Sally, and we've got Cameron. Okay, Carrots tier, we've got Chad and Molly. In the dogs tier, we've got Pee-wee, we've got George, and we've got Tera.
And who have I vetoed completely?
Yeah, so you never want to hear anything about these people ever again. John, we've got Kayla, and we've got Alex.
Does that mean you're not allowed to talk with them anymore?
I can do whatever I want.
I don't like
I have
putting
free
rules
will.
in. Yeah.
I have free will, but it's good for me to know which one you like.
Yeah, you might clock like, oh, actually she doesn't care to hear about this person.
Yeah.
Maybe I should talk more about
Chad.
Lady Gaga.
Right, so we should invite Lady Gaga and Sally and Cameron over then.
All together.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't that be an interesting
What a
thing?
weird blunt rotation.
That would be very weird. Well, it's been fun talking about your exes once again. Couldn't help it. That's your ticks for the year done, isn't it?
Yeah, tick.
How often do I talk about my ex?
Never. But also, you're not friends.
You're not friends with half of these people.
That's not true.
It's true.
One of them has me blocked.